Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk about Minami-Senju, an interesting area in eastern Tokyo. It's now had quite a renaissance where people have moved in. There are many, many new condos. This footage is from June 2009, June 4th in fact, taken with a Nikon D40. This is a Sumitagawa freight yard that was, I think, intentionally built in 1895 to cover with the remains of the Katsukapura execution grounds. They've consistently found bones and skulls and things underneath it. This is the remains of one of the cemeteries nearby. Coming up is the Tokyo Metro bridge that goes over it. That was much later. That was in the 60s. The Joban line came in, I think it was 1895. It actually goes up to Fukushima. I mentioned that in my last video. So it's an interesting area. The East in a lot of cultures in Asia is considered the bad luck. All bad things come from the East. So they had the tanneries, they had businesses. There you can see the Tokyo Metro. They had the execution grounds up here, although there was one in Shinagawa as the east as well, which was way to the south. Here's a man, one of the homeless men, one of the day laborers who used to work, because this was a big day laborer area since World War II when they rebuilt Japan. There's a window I thought was kind of interesting. Older building, long gone now. But so as being in the east, you have a lot of businesses, a lot of industries. You can see the lift on the right there. And this man, I think, has a very interesting expression coming up. Yeah. These people have all kind of vanished as it's been gentrified. The condos have come in, the old buildings have gone out. A lot of the little industries have disappeared. I thought that truck was pretty cool. Modern truck in 2009. Don't know what exactly that warehouse was. Another house here. You see the numbers that locate the areas as well as, and sometimes you see the gas and various utility things as well too. That's clearly some kind of a business and a warehouse. And yeah, it's no longer there as well. It's been rotting away for the years. There's another part. You can't imagine these places would do very well in earthquakes. You can see the AC unit. It's sort of precariously perched there. This next house I miss a great deal. Very old style. I can't assume that it survived the bombing of World War II, but it's long since been replaced by a 12-story condo. You can see the construction they put on these buildings, which I think is quite interesting. So whether this is post-war or pre-war, the construction was the same and the style very traditional. I loved that old light fixture. Miss this place a lot. It had an interesting energy that right on the main street at Eidodori in Minami-Senju. This was a nut and bolt shop, which is long gone. I loved the rust in this sign. I thought it had quite a lot of character. Here we have it from another angle. This was a small two-story building where someone lived on top and had their store at the bottom. And so a lot of these day laborers, you can see this man here, he's trying to light a cigarette. They lie around during the day and don't have a lot to do anymore now that they're old. This is an award from a bread maker that I interviewed. I have the interview. I may still try to do something with it. He's been in that area for a long time. He has a shop in the Ginza as well. And he said quite a bit about the history of the area. I think he had to be a little careful because, the Yakuza does control some of what's going on here. But he had very nice sandwiches and very nice breads. I thought that bread looked quite good, Takumi. This plaza, unfortunately, has long since been dismantled. They got rid of the top. And so it's very, very different now. Typical kind of a sandwich with the cutlet and the egg there. Very good. Also much cheaper than what you would get even at the 7-Eleven, which is hard to believe. That isn't so much cheaper, but that's a nice loaf of bread to take home. Here you can see the award that he won, one of many awards that he's won. And it's part of this plaza, like I was mentioning, that is now no longer with us. It's defunct. This is the outside of the shop, which last time I went, I'm not sure it's there anymore. I didn't see it, so he may have moved on. There's actually houses being built where these businesses were. This is looking down. You can see various stores. All of these are pretty much gone now, but people would get everything that they needed. Everybody in the neighborhood, the day laborers would. That place in particular had household items. I love that sign. I didn't get to see it much at night, but you can see how those would have been lit up. It would have been really, really cool. Look at this old record. I don't know if that was Fort Wengler or not. I'm not exactly sure. This guy coming up is typical of the day laborers who, in some cases, they're mentally ill. In some cases, they're disabled and they can't work anymore, and they spend their time on the streets. There aren't as many anymore. They've been tended to die out. This is a side alley to give you a sense of what part of the neighborhood looks like as you go next to the plaza. This is looking the other way. You can see the people mulling about, the bicycles, these old men. At this time, you didn't have young people. You didn't have working people in the neighborhood. This guy coming up had an amazing goiter that came from, malnutrition from it's not having citrus and things. But you see the banners, you see the cap banner, you see these fake flowers that have been so typical of the older plazas like that. That guy was really styling with that jacket, though, I have to say. I really like that jacket a lot. There were some kids in the neighborhood, so they had some things like this, these colorful. They had toys and pens and candies and things. There's another shop. Looks like the guy's cooking some food. He's long gone. I haven't seen him in a number of years. Likewise here, those look really good. I could go for that right now. And although the Kombini stores are great, these little places are unsurpassed in terms of the quality of the food. She's making some food in there too. I went in there a number of times to get pastries. It was really kind of a neat little spot. As so many things around the world are changing, there's some more of them. Now, coming up, you've got some of the former Yakuza bosses sitting on the street surveying everything. I'm surprised I was so bold as to take these pictures. You can see they're drinking their cheap sake as they sit there and they'll smoke and they watch the world go by and they kind of control things. There's another one of the shops. It gets a little bit random at times. Let me see if I can organize it a little bit better. But that's all part of the same area. You can see how vibrant. It's crazy to me that the roof has been removed and none of this is here anymore. There's a close-up that I'd mentioned of that before. One of the many shops here, and actually shop owners that I interviewed, is this liquor store owner. This place has actually been here since the 1890s. He's like third or fourth generation. I love that old poster. You can see sake bottles in the background. Interesting shop. It was still there. Also, there's a grocery store next to it that was there. I like that old clock, like those bottles, like that little back area with the window. There's a lot of old Showa character, I would say. There's the sign of the place. Guy was really nice and open, unusually so. And I think he has, you'll see him coming up. He's got a great smile. He makes deliveries of these liquors all over the place. In fact, the truck is right there. But, a lot of these guys in the neighborhood, too, there's the outside of the store. They drink, and as I mentioned before, they sit, and they don't have much to do. They have their pensions. The only free health clinic in Tokyo is very, very close to this area. And so that guy's, resting. Maybe he's sleeping it off. Maybe his lunch was in that bag. Here's another one who, he also has his coffee there. But now that they're older, they can't work like they once did. And this I highlighted because those are some of the Yakuza bosses. You see that guy giving me the side eye. I didn't get into trouble taking these images. There were film crews. There's another one of the old guys. I think he has a lot of character. There were film crews that actually were killed trying to make movies about this and about the Yakuza. Well, in any case, I've gone on longer than I expected. This is also the neighborhood. This is one of the festivals that they had. There are many different various summer festivals. It's interesting to see the people. I'm going to do more. The next one I want to do is Shibuya. And I'll also do other areas as well. Also let me know if there's an area that particularly interests you. This is the first one I've done that doesn't have any. Well, maybe not. I did one other that didn't have music, but I'll also try to include that too. I love the look of that woman looking at that guy. There's definitely a story going on here. Those little kids would be adults now. There's an old woman who's probably not there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Give me some feedback, and we'll do another one soon. Take care.